We are live. We are live.
Gee,
It's Monday. Monday
yeah,
now.
a couple days late.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Tom. Green light.
You got the green light.
All right. Welcome to episode. Ned, I'm so tired. Welcome to episode 96. This episode of 2OC, we talk about Games with Thrones, games turned into movies, and there are 14 million versions of this episode, and this is the one you get. I'm Al Flores.
And I'm Anton DeWall.
Sucks. Let's say that the other ones are worse.
Dude, there's
I
a
was
lot of
reconnect-
games in this episode, right?
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
game stuff.
Yeah, I know. It's funny because it has nothing to do with... Well, one is something to do with a video game.
One's considered a car game. What'd you do this weekend?
This weekend, I got to see some of my old friends I haven't seen in a long time. And those are the guys from Formula Drift. They're here in Orlando this past weekend. And yeah, it's kind of fun to see everybody doing what I used to do, which was, filming some of the guys that are driving. And dude, it's a lot more different now. I mean, I remember back then when I went to Formula Drift, you would see like cable wires everywhere. Not that you don't see much here, but I mean, back then there was camera setups everywhere. And recently it looks like they started using drones.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Stuff.
Yeah. So I would see like a kid that's standing on the side of the racetrack, and he would put on his VR visor on, and then I'm guessing he's basically doing first person with the drone, and he's flying around and he's chasing the cars, and then it's live streaming to the feeds, so it's kind of cool. They do replays and you get to see it live.
Are the drones fast enough to keep up with the cars, or does it get just like small clips?
It's fast, dude. Those drones are they're like the palm of your hand. They're small.
Yeah. I know, but I'm saying like I know like up like vertically vertically they're fast, but I don't know if horizontally they can keep up with a car.
Oh yeah, it can totally. Yeah, it keeps up with the car. I can show you some of the clips later after the show. It looks really clean. It looks like sometimes you can't really maneuver it the way that you want because it's kind of awkward. Because I mean, even when you're flying like those small helicopter toys, or anything with your phone, for example, if you ever flew any of the drones, sharp turns are kind of tricky. So
yeah, I feel that they do more curved turns, right?
Yeah, and usually when you shoot any type of video, you would have to shoot multiple times in order to get the clip that you want. And this is live, so I mean, whatever you get is what you get. You can't have redos. Yeah, you can't do do-overs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I had a good weekend Formula Drift. It was pretty hot out, but I mean, we had an umbrella and there was a breeze around like 4 or 5 o'clock, so it's pretty nice. But other than that, I mean, the rest of the week was pretty much like movies, TV shows. It was a lot of that.
Yeah. It's a lot of stuff going on. And people will see we're gonna have very few topics, but it's still gonna be a jam-packed episode.
Yeah, I mean, I got to check out Detective Pikachu, which comes out on next week. Forgot which date. I think it's May 10th. Let me double check.
The second weekend of May. I'll say August.
Yeah, May 10th. So it comes out on May 10th, and I got a chance to see it, which I'll probably talk about later in the movie section. Yeah.
Cool. All right, Anton. Ready to roll into our first segment, which is news?
Yes, let's get into news.
Almost I forgot like that first thing we usually talk about. That's that thing.
Yeah.
All right, Anton. Only one real news thing to report now. Avengers Endgame broke pretty much every single good box office record there was. It was the largest weekend opening weekend with 350 million North America, 1.2 million globally, and it was the fastest movie ever to make it to 1 billion with just under 5 days.
Yeah, I think it was a good thing that both of us got tickets early.
Oh,
And
it was a pain.
yeah, it was such a pain in the butt. I mean, I spent like 3 hours trying to get the tickets, and
I spent 5 hours.
yeah. So, anyways, I think, I mean, I checked it. I checked a lot of the ticketing websites for the past couple days because my parents kind of want to go see it too because they're big movie people,
You
and
had to get the ticket shopping for your parents?
yeah, I had to, and it's crazy because every single theater is sold out every single night
Yep.
up till like this coming Friday,
Yeah, no,
which is crazy.
that's why they had to add extra movie times.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably what helped Avengers get to the $1 billion mark so fast is that some theaters were going 24/7
Yeah,
for showings.
72 hours in a row, like throughout the whole entire weekend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'll talk about more about the movie later on,
Mm-hmm.
but coming out of the theater, my girlfriend was like, she just couldn't stop talking about it, and I had to tell him like, because we are walking right by people going. We left the theater probably like around 11,
Mm-hmm.
so people were still showing up for the next showing.
Yeah.
So like we're walking past people, and I was like, "Shh, gotta wait. I don't want to be mean," because she was so excited about like everything that happened.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt the same way too, and we went with our friend. We got 2 extra seats, so we went with our friend Gwen, and she wanted to talk about it so bad as soon as she left the
Yeah,
theater. And I'm like, yeah, you're gonna have to wait. We're gonna have to go outside, and then we'll talk about it. So we got outside, and we're like, this is still not a good place to talk about it. Let's go to a restaurant. So we went to a
yeah,
restaurant. Same thing. We can't talk about it because there are people eating dinner and they're getting ready to go see the 12 o'clock showing.
and it's by the way, did you wear anything Marvel related?
Yes, I did.
Did you see anybody else in cosplay?
Yeah, I did. I
Who
did
did you have in
see.
cosplay?
I had some little kids that were wearing like Captain Marvel, and I saw some guy with the Thor hammer.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I had a full Captain America at the theater,
Hmm.
a full Thor, and a little kid Iron Man. But yeah,
Yeah.
there's a few people that can like that was probably the most cosplay I've seen going to like a showing of a movie.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, people were into. But the point I was trying to make though is like you get reminded about how many people are there for the movie
Hmm.
by like if you went to eat afterwards, you probably saw people in Marvel or Captain America or Iron Man stuff.
Hmm.
They're eating before they're going to late showing.
Yeah.
Like that's your reminder. Like, oh, everybody here is wearing Marvel stuff. They're probably heading to the theater.
Yeah. So, besides that, we're going to talk about that a little more
Mhm.
later in the show. I want to talk about one news that we didn't add to our notes that I think is something that we should talk about real quick.
Okay.
There's a new Bond movie coming out, and this is going to be Daniel Craig's last Bond movie. And they already casted a new director because Danny Boyle was supposed to direct it, but then he dropped out because of the way that he wanted it. He wanted to do it his way, but then the people who own Bond, they want to do it the right way. They want to do it their own way. So I mean, there was some clash there. But anyways, they found a new director. It's Cary Fukunaga. He
Mhm.
is the guy that did the show on Netflix, Maniac,
Okay.
which is with Emma Stone and Jonah Hill. I
Yeah,
don't know if
I
you've
was
seen
saying
it.
Seth Rogen, but mini Seth Rogen.
Yeah. Have you seen that show?
No, but I did hear good things about it though. It,
Yeah,
it
it's
was a
a
bit weird, but I
very
heard good.
weird show. Yes.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Cary Fukunaga, I'm pretty excited for that because this is going to be very interesting because he's a very sentimental director. He's very detailed, so it's kind of interesting to see where he's gonna what he's gonna bring to the table for this movie. They did cast a villain and they unveiled it. It's gonna be Rami Malek, Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, I think he's going to do a really good job because I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen him play a bad guy. I think he's
No,
going to do
but
such a good job.
I see Rami Malek as being the next Daniel Day-Lewis because
Hmm.
he's very immersive. He aside from I think his eyes would usually give him away,
Hmm.
but he really becomes his characters. And who was the other? I'm blanking on his name. The guy from 500 Days of Summer.
Us, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, Joseph Gordon. Like this is three names. Same
Hmm.
thing with him. They're both like actors that just immerse themselves and they just they become their character.
Yeah, the only thing is, Rami Malek. I don't really like his tone of voice because it sounds similar to like all the movies and TV shows I've seen him in. It's always that same voice, but I mean, of course, he
Yeah,
changes it a little bit just to get
but
into
it's
the
still him.
character. But it sounds like he's talking like this, like
It's part of
it,
the character, bro. I tell you, it's all by design. If you
yeah.
talk to the person, he sounds nothing like that.
Yeah, because in Mr. Robot, he's basically like talking about his sister and like and it's kind of like that when he's in Bohemian Rhapsody too. But I don't know. That's just me. Hopefully, he can get out of that, and then I'll probably be more invested in
Yeah,
other characters that he can play.
still early.
Hmm. All right, so that's the Bond news.
And I think that's it for news.
That's it for news.
All right, Anton. Let's get to streaming. And as I think audience can tell, we're kind of speeding through this because we really want to talk about something specifically.
Yes.
All right, Anton. Top of streaming. What do we got?
So for streaming, well, for the past couple of weeks, I've been catching up on Game of Thrones,
Mhm.
and the new season is just so freaking crazy, and I can't really talk much about it because you haven't seen it yet. And dude, last night's episode totally blew my mind. And
Okay, so in case people are watching this in later on, which
mhm.
episode was that? Second or third episode of the season?
It is the third episode. This is the first one that is beyond the hour mark.
Okay,
So this
so
is like 80 something minutes.
so I have not seen it as you stated.
Hmm.
However, I have heard there were certain complaints about the third episode uh when it comes to lighting.
Oh yeah. Depends on people's TVs. A lot of people's TVs don't really take black that well, so it's really hard to see what really happens in the episode because it's so dark.
Okay, so
Yeah.
is it that the TVs are just not up to date, or is it that people haven't configured their TVs correctly?
From
Or not?
HBO, I think they said that that's just how they made it, and it's really up to the viewers at home to adjust their TV to that specific lighting. Because whenever you buy a TV from any store, it's not configured to something
Your
that you
room.
would normally watch. Like
Yeah.
movies are colored differently, so you have to put like a movie setting on it, so then it could bring
Yeah.
out the
And,
darks. Yeah,
and a lot of people don't do that. Even with my TV, I switch between two settings depending on what I'm watching.
yeah.
Uh, it's the video games I do one mode, for movies I do another.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's just about knowing your TV.
Yeah, even when you go to Best Buy or something, they usually turn the screens to almost its max setting for that
Dyna-
brightness.
is it dynamic? Whatever
Yeah,
it's called.
dynamic mode, but then like they
Yeah.
they extend the color contrast so that you can see more color. So when you go look at the TV, you're like, oh wow, that looks really good. But
At home.
realistically, it's really bad for the TV because you're
Yes.
burning out all of these crystals that are only meant to have so many hours on it.
Uh, for people that might not be TV people, but they're car people, it's like you revving your engine nonstop, saying, "Look how loud and powerful this engine is! I can just hold down my foot on this gas,
Uh huh.
and it sounds amazing." It's bad for the
Yeah.
engine.
Yeah, it's bad for an engine. Yeah. Yeah, it's not meant to last that long if you're stressing out all of the parts. But anyways, yeah, I mean, besides all of that complaint, everybody was really surprised with everything that happened throughout the whole entire episode. Um, Kind of reminds me of some stuff in Endgame, but we'll talk about that later. So,
Yeah.
mhm.
I don't know why I have to keep clearing my throat. I was fine before we started recording.
Hmm.
What thing I was gonna ask too? There's only 6 episodes this season, so we're halfway through the season.
Yeah, halfway through the season. I know that the next couple of episodes also more than an hour, so it's going to be a really good episode.
Do we? Well, it's gonna be the ending for Game of Thrones, but there supposedly there is going to be a spin-off.
Yeah, I think there's going to be prequels.
It's a prequel, yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
I think it's gonna be to the original battle, like how Winterfell became. Well, not Winterfell.
Yeah, and they would talk about the story about the Dragon Slayer. I mean,
Hmm.
not the Dragon Slayer, King Slayer. Um, yeah, all the old stories.
Yeah, yeah. So
Hmm.
it's the mythology they've established, similar to Harry Potter.
Yeah,
How they started doing the
Fantastic Beasts,
Fantastic Beasts and something wonderful animals.
and where to find them.
Sorry, dude. I spent 11 hours at work today, so I am a little burned out.
Yeah.
That thing with the picture, the movies. Yes, movies. There you go. That's the one. All
Hmm.
right, so I'm ready to move into movies.
Yes, let's get into
All right.
movies.
All right, Anton. We probably know exactly what happened, but just for funsies, since we're coming into this weekend,
Okay.
let's go to the top three.
Okay. All right.
Number one, no surprise, Avengers Endgame with 357.1 million, and that's
Hmm.
domestic.
Hmm.
Number two, Captain Marvel with 8.3 million, and number three, The Curse of La Llorona with 8 million. Keeping up with Captain Marvel.
Okay, so just referencing our movie draft, summer movie draft. I'm so
Yeah.
happy this movie is not in there. I am so
Okay,
happy it's not in there.
actually, let me see. I want to see if my formula will work for this. It probably won't because I'm sure next weekend is gonna be just as consistent as this weekend.
Yeah, it's gonna be doubling what it is now. So, yeah.
Okay, so scoring. Sorry, probably not the best time to work on spreadsheets, but
Hmm.
well, actually, no, I could probably just use it this way. So say what was it, 307,
57.
357. So for my projections, within 30 days, it's going to make this. Oh, it's only gonna make $1,000. I forgot to turn that into a million. By my projections, it will make $1,031,000,000 by 30 days.
Wow. Okay. I think it will probably reach around there. I'm gonna lowball it and say like around 900, just to
I
be safe.
I think it will break $1 billion.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm saying that is because I think Marvel has enough of a fan base that if they get to that, they get that close, they might get a boost.
Hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
Yep. All right. So
uh,
before we get into the end game,
yeah,
I want to talk about Detective Pikachu, if that's okay.
yeah, you do that. Be right back.
Okay. All right. While I'm waiting for Alan to put on his Pikachu ears,
My knockoff Pikachu ears.
knockoff. Okay, so Detective Pikachu is a story about a kid named Tim who is played by Justice Smith, and he's in a Pokemon world, and he kind of finds out that his father's, kind of murdered. So he pumps into
Kind of.
kind of, and there's a reason behind that. So he bumps into a Pikachu that he can only understand. No one can understand that Pikachu.
A wisecracking Pikachu.
Yep, very wise. And they both uncover a story on how his father got murdered. And the Pikachu is voiced by Ryan Reynolds, and I think he did such a good job. So, so they try to figure out if his father is still alive. I mean, there's really no dead body.
So is it just like, he just got noticed that it's like, oh, by the way, we found your dad dead, but there's no body, but he's dead.
Yeah, but
Take
he's
our word.
dead.
Just
So
trust.
that's a mystery that they go on together, and they kind of try to solve it together. So it's really really fun. This is a no spoiler review, so I'm trying my best not to say anything. I'm just gonna say good things about it and things I didn't like about it.
Okay.
Hmm.
Quick question before you get into that. Do they mention Silk Road or Silk? What's the company called?
Yeah, Silk Road.
Is that the company that Dad works for?
No.
Okay, damn it. All right, go ahead.
I think it was something dome. They talk about dome, yeah, something like that.
Stephen
Uh,
King's Under the Dome.
okay, so I think this is a great family movie.
Hmm.
I believe it has a lot of Pokemon fan justice in it, and this movie kind of makes you want to go to Rhyme City. Like you want to visit this place because it's so cool. Like there's nothing not to like about Pokemon. So, I mean, this is great for people who don't know anything about Pokemon too. I mean, it's a great movie for new fans, old fans, but I think of course old fans are going to like enjoy a lot more because
Hmm.
they grew up on this stuff. And you're going to get to
Have
see so many stuff.
Have you not seen my ears?
Yeah. Okay, so there's so much Pokemon in this movie, and I still think that there isn't enough. Um, yeah, when you watch it, it's just ridiculous. When you get into Rhyme City, they're just everywhere. They're in every single scene, and I just still think that there's not enough of them because you always see them in the background doing stuff, but you don't really get to see them up close. I think there's probably like only 40 or 50 Pokemon that you actually get to see up close. The rest of them are just like doing their own thing. So, anyways,
Only 40.
only 40, yeah. Um, yeah, so I kind of like how this movie kind of ties into some of the old movies that came out. I like that it's tied to the first Pokemon movie that we've ever seen in America. Pokemon
Really?
2000? Yeah.
Hmm. Well, actually, was it Pokemon 2000 or Pokemon the movie?
Pokemon the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I really like how it ties in a little bit with that too, because they talk about the stuff that happened. They kind of reference it. They're like, oh yeah, this and this happened in this movie.
Hmm.
So I think that's kind of cool. Throwback to a lot of the fans who watched the old movie.
Yeah.
So the story is decent. Acting is really good, top notch. The cast is amazing. And we kind of talked about this before. Video game movies have a curse, and it's kind of hard to call out a really good, a well-made video game movie because there hasn't
Hmm.
been one yet. Resident Evil's just kind of cheesy, and the story's kind of like whack. The action's good, you
Wait,
know.
wait, wait. You mean tell me that Mike Epps with golden handguns is cheesy?
The action's good.
Yeah.
Action's good.
The monsters are definitely cheesy.
Yeah,
The
monster.
the boss monsters,
Yeah,
the infected are fine.
yeah. Okay, and I already talked about Tomb Raider, where it's so close to lifting that curse. But do I think this movie lift that curse? I'm gonna say yes and no. It's a very thin line again. I think this is a great movie so far, and it's a really good adaptation of the series. But I think if all of the video game movies keep going at this point, I think they're gonna reach that threshold.
They're getting closer to
Yeah,
that
they're
golden
getting
point.
very close. They're getting very close.
Mm.
So if people ask me this question, I'm gonna leave it up to them. For me, I say it's yes or no. It's so close, but yeah, it's up to everybody else who's gonna see it on May 10th. to
You're
really
like they're
say. Hmm.
you're like they're on the right trail.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any other video game movies.
Oh, the ending of this movie, man, it's very emotional.
Ooh,
Very emotional.
you got the feels?
Yeah, you get the feels, and it's a very big surprise. I
Yeah.
guess my wife Julie kind of saw it coming, but I didn't see it coming at all. So highly recommend watching it all the way to the end if you didn't like the movie.
What's the main character's name again?
Justice Smith.
Wait, I thought that was the actor's name.
Oh, Tim.
Oh, Tim. Okay.
Yeah.
So, prediction. You don't have to say yes or no, but
Hmm.
hey, Tim, my name's Ash.
Oh. Mm, no, you wish that
I
would be
know.
really cool, but
That
no.
would make a lot of fans go, and piss off a lot of fans too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right. I don't think I have any follow-up questions because I don't want to spoil this for
Oh,
myself.
it is based on the game pretty much. Like it's pretty close. Like I played like 20 minutes of the game, and it's pretty close to what it is in the movie.
Box office mojo. I want to see what their budget was.
Oh, the
Check.
designs for the Pokemons. Oh my god, they did such an amazing job. I was right on board with. I mean, a lot of some of the Pokemons you're like, wow, they're a little fuzzy. They're not supposed to be fuzzy, but it kind of works
Well,
out.
do we know they're not supposed to be fuzzy, or was that just our assumption?
Probably our assumption. Like I always thought that Jigglypuff was more like a balloon, you know, but she's
Oh
fuzzy.
yeah, I
Hmm.
get that. You think more rubbery,
Hmm.
kind of like a seal or something.
Hmm. Man,
Uh,
Charizard is fierce. Yeah.
well, yeah, it's a freaking dragon or giant salamander that breathes
Yeah,
fire.
and you get to see a Gyarados in here too, which is crazy.
Ooh.
Hmm.
I'm trying to find the freaking budget for this movie, but I can't find it. They haven't disclosed it yet. Um, but do you think they built a good enough world where you
Oh
can see
yeah.
sequels in that world?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's going to be sequels. There's going to be more movies made because this is pretty well done. This is this is going to do a lot of justice for a lot of fans. So, I mean, in the Pokemon world, there's a lot of people who play the video games, and there's a lot of people who are Pokemon fans.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm one of them. I can't disagree with that.
Hmm.
And also, the Pokemon Company has has some deep pockets. So
Hmm.
pretty sure as long as they make even a little bit of money on this, they're gonna try to build on it more.
Yeah. Oh, is it okay if I mention who's in the movie? I mean,
Uh,
it's in the credits.
sure.
Yeah, Diplo's in the movie.
I don't think I would recognize Diplo if I saw him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's in the movie. When he was on
Wait,
when
actually, didn't Diplo do the audio track for this? I know I thought it was somebody.
I I don't know. Didn't really look into that. Let's see.
I don't know if it
Music
was this
by
one.
Henry Jackman. So I don't think so.
Uh,
I think he did do a song with Rita Ora. Rita Ora is also in the movie. Yeah.
all right. Yeah, I forgot what movie it was, but maybe it was something else. All right, Anton. I think we're ready to move on to the main event, the
Okay.
end game for this podcast,
Okay.
for this episode.
Okay.
All right, Anton. Let's start with spoiler free, and
Okay.
then we'll do the wrap up, and then we'll go into spoilers afterwards.
All right.
So spoiler free. Be polite. What did you think about the movie?
I thought, okay, so this is going to be a very bold statement. I think this movie, if I had to subtract the first hour, uh, the best action movie ever made.
Anton, you're holding back, man. You gotta unleash. Just tell me what you think.
I,
No, you know what? I enjoyed every moment of this movie. I get what you're saying about the first hour,
hmm. But you
but
needed that first hour.
you do need that first
It's
hour.
so emotional.
Yes, but it's also I enjoyed it. It was still like I get it was slower pace.
Hmm.
And that's probably why a lot of, and I don't think people are getting surprised by that because a lot of the breaks that were being announced of when you can go to the bathroom since the 3 hour movie,
Yeah.
the majority of them were in that 30 to hour and 30-minute time window.
Yeah, and it's not kind of it's not a spoiler to talk about it because it's already in the trailers. I mean, you already know at the very beginning of the movie they're gonna talk about what happens after the event,
Yes.
and this whole part where it's talking about or showing us what happened after, it's just to build all of the emotions because you really don't know where they're gonna go at that point because everything that we've known so far, according to the trailers and from what we've expected, is where do they go from there? You know, like there is no other way to bring anybody back or to do anything at all. I mean, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to move on. Yes, of course. That's just how life is, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even if it happened in real life, you wouldn't even
Yeah.
know what to do except move on.
Yeah. And that's what the whole movie, and I feel like the movie was preparing the audience for that. The beginning part, even though they're talking to the characters, and the part that made me think that this is a moment for the audience. One of the Russo brothers makes an appearance
Oh,
in that scene,
spoiler.
but it's a cameo, and he's in the IMDb credits.
Yeah,
And by the
but
way, looking through the IMDb credits, the Russo brothers took advantage of this being their last Marvel movie. They threw in a lot of Russos in there.
yeah.
I counted at least 4 Russos in the
Oh my
credits.
gosh. Yeah. And not only was he a cameo in there, the creator of Thanos is in there too. He was the bald guy with the glasses. He was also in that support group.
Oh, I
Yeah.
they focused on him for a little bit, and I was kind of like, I
Yeah.
don't know who that is, but
Yeah, he's the creator of Thanos, and also there are some writers of the movie in there too.
they
So it's
snuck
kind of
in.
cool. Yeah, it's kind of cool to have that because it's kind of like a tribute, you know. But you actually get to be in it
Yeah,
because you created it. So I kind of like how they added that touch to it because hardcore comic fans will appreciate everything, uh, even that detail
which
to
I
have.
missed.
Yeah.
I caught the Russos, but I didn't catch the creators.
Yeah.
Again, I probably recognize the names, but I wouldn't recognize the faces.
Yeah. Yeah.
Overall, I think the movie captured the last 10 years very well.
Yeah.
A lot of and even the fan service. I know going into this movie, uh, between the premiere screening and the wide release, there is a lot of reviews talking about uh, fan raving, fandom for it, and I felt like it was done nicely. I didn't think it was just thrown in for the hell of it. It was woven into the story pretty well.
Yeah. I think this really brings a lot of humanity to
Yes.
the superheroes because even they are vulnerable, and it's really hard for people to move on when they lose somebody, and especially when you're a superhero, you can't really do anything about it. You get to see all of that, and they're hopeless, and I mean they have to accept what they only had left.
Yeah, I mean, one thing we've praised Marvel for in the past, compared to DC, is that Marvel makes you care about their characters. They have more depth to them. They're not perfect. They're human.
Hmm.
They're flawed, and this movie just encompasses that. And if you pay attention closely to the movie, it gives you a lot of hints.
Yeah. And I think the one thing I really appreciate about this movie alone is I think the screen time for all the characters in the whole entire movie is distributed pretty well because I mean they had other movies like the previous movie they had a lot more screen time in those and then in this one they focus on the other half. So I mean, it's
I
good.
don't know. I don't know if he said that intentionally, but it kind of works
Yeah,
for a character in particular.
yeah. So I mean, that's a good thing,
Yeah,
to have that balance, because that's the one thing that we want to see on screen is our favorite characters. We want
yeah,
a lot of screen time.
yeah. Also, I just want to point this out. I don't know why they tried to make this not Infinity Wars Part 2. It was completely Infinity War Part 2.
Yeah.
There was no background given if you missed Infinity War. If you missed Infinity War, you're not gonna know what the hell is really going on in this movie or what the consequences are.
Yeah. And another thing is you have to watch all of the movies in order to understand this. And, for so many people to go see this movie now, it kind of shows you how invested a lot of us who are fans to, love these characters for the last 11 years, 22
Yeah,
movies.
yeah.
Yeah, it really shows that.
Nerdist, yeah, Nerdist did the full 22 movies at the El Capitan Theater in Hollywood.
Yeah, that was
Um,
pretty cool that they did that. Yeah.
yeah, it was weird seeing their Instagram just popping up every couple hours. Uh, now watching Captain America, the first Avenger, and then the other one says like, oh, now watching Black Panther. I'm like, geez, like I know they're getting breaks, but that's just too much.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Um, no, there was another one. Marvelous Facts, their Instagram. They were doing the 22 days up to the premiere of Avengers.
Hmm.
They would post which order to watch them. Like today you have to watch this movie or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, before we get into spoilers, I do want to point out how dumb some people are going to the day on Thursday night and somehow being surprised that there's no tickets available for Avengers.
Oh, you had one of those people?
I had several,
Yeah.
and I'm like walking past them going, are they serious?
Yeah.
I probably should ask Josias before we start recording this. But Josias from the Comic Syndicate, his second job is working at a theater. He's mentioned it several times in his podcast. I wanted to see how many of them they had. I think he had a few because he vented a little bit in our group chat.
Yeah. Have they been under a rock or something? I mean, it's all over the news and it's everywhere that's sold out.
I think people that are casual Marvel fans didn't realize how big this movie would be
Hmm.
and how much attention the pre-sales got.
Yeah. Okay. So I found online that they have a school that I guess the principal sent out a letter to all the students' parents,
Yeah.
letting them know that there's going to be a very big movie coming out this week. And it's kind of like a global event. And, to respect everybody, the principal asked the parents to let their
Oh,
kids know not to spoil the movie. Because, I mean,
damn.
this is such a big movie. It means a lot to
Yeah.
everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
I think that is a good thing, because I feel bad for my niece here. She's in middle school, and a lot of kids are not so nice. I mean, they had some people that were leaking some of the videos online, and they basically
freaking
watched it
a
and
dude.
yeah, told everybody in the class what happens, and it kind of ruins it for everybody. Feel
Yeah,
bad for
no,
the
it's
kids.
well, there was a guy in Hong Kong. I was hearing about it on Saturday.
Hmm.
As he was coming out of the movie theater, he's walking past the people waiting in line to get in next, and he's just like just spouting out spoilers. A few of the fans got out of line and kicked his ass.
Oh my god! Wow.
At which point I'm like, yeah, guess what? You have a right to freedom of speech. They
Uh-huh.
also have a right to kick your ass. So, I mean, like, okay, they don't have a right to, but like, if you're gonna be an a-hole, you get what's coming to you.
So
Um,
yeah, that's funny, because in China they had this girl who watched a movie and she cried Even after the movie, she kept crying. She couldn't stop crying,
I've
and
heard
she had
about
to go
that.
to ER.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah,
about that.
that's crazy.
Did you see my screenshot of my Apple Watch that I posted on the group chat?
Oh yeah, dude, that's crazy.
It was a slow build.
Uh huh.
And the so for I probably should have sent this to Anton ahead of time. For listeners, you see my pulse at 7 o'clock, kind of steady pace,
Yeah, it's like a
like
normal
the
heartbeat, like around like
normal resting
69
rate.
or 70. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it slowly starts to incline
Yeah.
as the hours go by,
Uh-huh.
peaking at around 10 o'clock, which is, by the way, the last like the final moments of the movie. And there's a sudden spike. It goes from like the high 90s and jumps up to 116. The time on the my watch is kind of blocking it, but you kind of see that dot at
Uh-huh.
like by one of the numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it spikes at 116. So you can only imagine what moment that is.
Yeah. All right, so enough tease. Let's get into the spoilers, dude.
Well, all right. Well, first off, so some people probably haven't seen it yet.
Hmm.
So let's just do our normal spiel, and then we'll get to spoilers.
Okay.
So if people want to support our responsible podcasting with spoiler-free moments and spoiler moments, how can we do that, Anton?
They can do that by going to our website at www.the2oc.com to maybe buy some stickers or t-shirts. And if there was something that we talked about on the show or something that they've seen on our social media, they can click on any of the links and it'll take them to a Amazon page, and it gives us a little kickback if something is purchased.
That's right. They can also follow us on social media at the2OC on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Or you can send us an email to mail@the2oc.com if let us know what you think about Endgame.
Hmm. And also, today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/the2oc. There are over 180,000 titles to choose from, and you can use it on your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or even an MP3 player. Oh, wow.
Yeah, use that credit to download Marvel's Thanos.
Oh, yeah. That's something you should do.
Well, I mean, it'll give him good insight into the character.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel Infinity War did a good job of like showing his side, but this gives you more background.
Hmm.
All right.
Shows you his farming side and, what he does
Yeah.
on the downtime.
He's on Facebook on Farmville. Oh no, my berries have wilted. All right, that's on. Okay, so if you're still listening to this and you have not seen Endgame, what the hell's your problem? We're about to get into spoilers.
Yeah.
Anton, do you want to? You know what? On our social media, I posted our spoiler-free spoiler post.
Mhm.
Should we just start with explaining each of those scenes?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right. So the first picture is of Ned Stark. Can you guess why I chose that one?
You chose the Ned Stark picture because he gets his head chopped off.
Correct. Ned Stark and Thanos get their head chopped off.
Yeah.
That one, I will say, was a good first surprise. I
Yeah.
did not expect that.
Yeah. Dude, that was so unexpected, and it happened so early in the movie too, even before the title of the movie,
My
which
girlfriend
is
was like,
crazy.
my girlfriend was like, "Really? Now?" I was like, it's funny because I just like literally in the theater, I just clapped my hands. I'm like, "Well, good movie, guys."
Yeah. A lot of people didn't see that coming too, and it's funny because you would hear Thor say, "I went for the head."
Yeah, that was probably one of the first fan services we got.
Mm-hmm.
Was that throwback to Infinity War or callback to Infinity War?
Mm-hmm.
I realized a lot of the trailers we got was those first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap!
Uh-huh.
Even that scene that they released early was just that conversation early on.
Yeah, and you kind of understand that they did it for a reason because you already expected what was going to happen,
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
They knew people would like, okay, of course they're gonna fight Thanos. They're gonna find him. Blah blah blah. They're gonna go get him.
Mhm.
Um, yeah. So I think that was really creative of them to say, pretty much give us what we expected.
Mhm.
That still hyped us up, and it wasn't any spoilers.
Yeah.
All right. So next picture is the dude from the Big Lebowski. Why is that?
Because of Fat Thor. It's funny because Iron Man, Tony Stark, calls him out on it too.
Yeah. All right, the dude.
Yeah. All right, Big Lebowski.
Yeah. Okay, so let's pause on that one for a little bit. So
Mhm.
okay, did you like it as a character choice?
To have Fat Thor?
Yeah.
No, because it kind of makes him like a you always seem to see him as a favorite character, and you always wanted good things to happen to him, but you kind of get to see the worst side of him, which is kind of unexpected, and you're kind of like, oh my god, he's fat.
I I had that reaction too,
Uh huh.
but I get it.
Mm-hmm.
It humanized them.
Yeah,
It
it does.
humanized them so much. Uh, and then later on in the movie they kind of put a spotlight on it, but I mean, the guy lost his home. He lost his brother. He lost his dad.
Mm-hmm.
He had to kill his sister.
Mm-hmm.
For a short while, he lost his eye. He lost a majority of his people.
Yeah, and
And
he can't find Jane Foster. They're
oh,
not together.
so, this thing. He got dumped. He
Yeah.
got dumped by Jane.
Uh-huh.
It was mutual. It was mutual. Totally mutual. Uh, and to top it all off, his moment of redemption was a failure
Mm-hmm.
because he didn't aim for the head.
Yeah.
And
And
like you think like all that suffering he did to build up to that moment, he almost got killed. He almost he would almost got killed or died
yeah.
trying to make a what's it called, stormbreaker.
Yeah, Stormbreaker. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, all that work, all that suffering for that moment, and he still failed.
Yeah. You know, it's funny that they kind of hit, or I mean, it kind of builds up to Fat Thor. Um, the reason why I say that is the scene when they were first talking together about where to find Thanos. You see Thor sitting by a table, and he's eating Hawaiian bread. He's eating a
Oh,
lot of
that's
it, and
true.
he's drinking
Yeah,
beer. So that was the start of him getting really fat.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
really funny to see that.
But
Hmm.
yeah, so that wasn't. I mean, clearly it wasn't enough. But I like is that humanized them,
Hmm. Hmm.
and then the people that were left, that started off a new life in what's it called, New Valhalla,
Hmm.
not Val,
New Asgard.
Asgard,
Hmm.
New Asgard. He wasn't really their leader anymore. He
Mm-mm.
stepped away. Like he saw himself as a failure. He didn't feel the right to. He didn't feel like that he was their leader.
Yeah, he didn't deserve it. He doesn't feel
Yeah,
like he deserved
'cause
it.
that's
Hmm.
because he was trying to be the person he should have been,
Hmm.
or the person he's meant to be.
Yeah.
Um, but so I liked it. I'm like, I get it. I mean, somebody has a bad day at work and they binge on junk food.
Hmm.
Imagine all that shit happening to you.
Yeah.
I think it's justified. I mean, if I have a horrible, week like he did, I think I would enjoy just kind of shutting myself out from the world and playing video games with my friends.
Yeah. Okay, so another thing that I
Thor,
kind of like
Thor,
is
Thor, that kid is back. The one that keeps yelling at me. I
hey, it's funny that Fortnite is still a thing 5 years in the future.
It's true, but then again, half the people died, so you probably don't have as many developers.
That is so sad that you point that out. Oh my
It's true
gosh.
though.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
is.
reality to live in.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, throughout the whole entire movie, I think Rocket really shines when he's trying to insult somebody.
Yeah.
And it's so funny that he kind of points out that he's like, dude, you're like melted ice cream. Yeah.
So that's what melted ice cream looks like. I know. I probably should use that picture too.
Yeah, and
Uh,
I love how they added Korg into the
he
scene.
survived.
Yeah, he survived. I thought he died. He's like one
I
of my favorite characters because he's so funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I thought he died too.
Hmm.
Um, no, and going back to Thor, later on in the movie where he talks to his mom, that was again humanized. Like that's what he needed. Like
Hmm.
that trip was not just you know he got more than the Infinity Stone. He got a
He needed
wisdom.
enlightenment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he got wisdom from somebody he trusted and loved,
Hmm.
who he doesn't have anymore. He
Hmm.
has nobody like that to give him advice like that. He has his friends, but his friends don't really know his life.
Hmm.
So I mean that was nice, and also the mom told him to eat a salad.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
That's just good life advice.
Oh my God, Thor, eat a salad.
Be the person you are, not the person you're meant to be. Everybody's like, oh, and
Eat
eat
a
a salad. Everybody started cracking up in the theater. I'm like, that sounds like a mom.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into let's see
The
Hulk.
next, okay, okay.
So
I was weirded out.
you were weirded out that
I
he
was
combined
weirded.
himself. Yeah.
It was unsettling.
Yeah. I can sort of see, both of those personalities mending together because I mean, you get that really weird awkwardness of the geekiness side of him,
Yeah,
the nerd side of him, and you
yeah.
also get to see like, the assertive side of him that we've seen in Ragnarok.
Well, you gotta remember too, Hulk, as much as a loner as he is, he
Mhm.
wants to be accepted,
Mhm.
and you kind of see that by the friendship he had with Valkyrie.
Mhm.
Like he's like, hey, mean girl. um, yeah, he has acceptance, and then uh, Bruce Banner, he is very as smart as he is, he's still a nerd.
Mhm.
So it was a combination of the Hulk benefiting from Bruce's social skills, with combined with Bruce having the gift of having Hulk's confidence.
Mhm.
It was weird, especially that selfie moment.
Yeah. Dude, that scene was so funny when Ant-Man was like, "Oh, you want to take a picture of me?" And
Who are
that,
you?
yeah, it's funny because that scene lasted for like at least 3 minutes. You
It
know,
was. I'm like, holy crap! It's still going. No, come on, seriously. Hey, no, he wants to. No, he wants.
and, and you see the kid's reactions like,
No, I really don't.
no,
No.
and he's like, "Take the damn phone." Yeah,
Yeah.
that's funny.
No, but that was weird. I do like how uncomfortable Hulk is, or because it's Bruce taking over the Hulk.
Yeah.
So when they go back to the Avengers movie scene in New York, um, he doesn't know how to be the Hulk. Flip, like.
He's throwing, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, smash.
Hulk smash.
But yeah, that was a little bit odd.
Hmm.
It was funny though. I think it was a good
Hmm.
payoff. But
Hmm.
for as little Hulk as we got in Infinity War, we definitely got a good dosage of Hulk in this one.
Okay. All right. So I want to point out something that we talked about in a couple of episodes ago where we were trying to predict what's going to happen in the end game. Damn, I was right. Oh my gosh. Quantum,
Okay,
time travel.
I will say you were right,
Yeah.
and I would be pissed off that they went with time travel to the quantum realm,
Mhm.
which is utter BS. But they handled it well.
Mhm.
They didn't undo their history, kind of.
Yeah.
they didn't, they didn't like something they pointed out a lot. They didn't Back to the Future it.
Yeah, which is
Uh,
kind of funny because they kind of pointed out that it's
yeah,
not Back to the Future or what is it? Something in
Time
Ted.
Cop,
Time Cop. Yeah,
Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted.
Yeah. They named all these like time modes, the Hot
Yeah.
Tub Time Machine. No, but they didn't though, and I think that's what I liked about it is because my concern was we've invested over 10 years
Hmm.
into this universe,
Yeah.
and Agents of Shield has screwed us over numerous times. Same thing with the Flash for
Hmm.
DC, where you build a certain world and they say just kidding.
Yeah. I hate that.
It's frustrating, and I'm glad that they didn't do it here. Like there's more, and the Hulk, going back to the Hulk for a little bit,
Hmm.
him talking to the Ancient One is a tutorial to the audience about what they're trying to do and how it isn't
Oh my
going to
God!
undo.
Thank God they had the ancient one explain it to all the people because I mean I think it's a little complicated when even to some people that I watched it the second time. I watched this movie twice, so
Yeah,
I mean watching it the second time, I mean I had these people still asking me questions on how time works in
it
this
was a
timeline.
it was a real life PowerPoint.
Yeah,
It was a PowerPoint with
yeah,
magic for the
yeah.
movie.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, no, you know what, I give it, you're right,
Hmm.
but they handled it well.
Yeah, they handled it really well. And it all happened because of freaking Rat in the truck.
Oh, I know, dude. That's fate right there.
Yeah.
That
So,
was so dumb.
yeah, it's kind of interesting because, I mean, we talked about, like, how long it takes in the quantum realm and then
Oh,
how long it
how
takes,
time's distorted.
yeah, distorted. And I like that we had that conversation because I mean, watching this movie, it kind of happened, and it's good to see that we were going in the right direction, sort of. So
Yeah.
it's kind of cool to see that. But other than that, Ant-Man coming back, we thought that that scene where they look at the archive footage, but it
Hmm.
wasn't archive footage;
No, it
it
was
was live
live.
footage. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting. Dude, it's so emotional to see um, Stephen Lang,
Oh, Ant-Man?
Ant-Man,
No, Scott Lang.
Scott Lang, to see his daughter all
Hmm.
grown up.
Yeah, and
That is
that
so crazy.
probably the first moment I think the audience really had like a deep kind of sigh
Yeah, it
because
totally hit
it's
me because he missed 5 years of her childhood.
that's the thing too though. Like you think that he's going to suffer realizing that his daughter died,
Hmm.
and then you have that happy moment where he finds out that she's alive and sees her.
Hmm.
But then you also then realize she thought he was dead for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And now, imagine through her, I was like, what, how the hell is he back?
Hmm. I
So,
like how they milked that scene because it felt like it needed space for you to see how emotional it was.
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, as soon as you get up to the house, you could see her outline, her silhouette,
Yeah.
and then
So
you
grown
see
up.
her slowly walking up to the door, and and then them hugging, and then he had to look at her, and he's you know uh,
Hmm.
trying to act like how he would interact with her when he was
Yeah.
a
When,
father. Yeah.
yeah. Because, I mean, he was a very involved dad. Like, he worked
Hmm.
hard to be part of her life. So,
Hmm.
all that time. And then
He
he missed
missed.
5 years.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
It's,
emotional for a lot of people. I mean, I saw a couple of people in the row that were kind of getting a little teary eyed.
yeah, it's a feels moment
Hmm.
for if you're just watching this, but understanding the character and the relationship with his daughter that
Hmm.
you get from Ant-Man, where he's trying to prove himself to his daughter and his ex-wife, to Ant-Man 2 and Ant-Man and the Wasp, where you see that relationship growing and that bond, how strong, how close they are together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to then just have that happen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a lot. But there's more to her, but I want to point out something else. Um, walking down that street where the kid with the bicycle is like riding his bike and he's trying to figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's a shitty street. Because later on, not later on, but down the street where the kid's riding around his bike, you see the other two streets on the road perfectly clean. It's just his street that's like dark and like gloomy and
That's probably the one detail they missed. Yeah.
yeah, they're like we only have so much garbage to use as setting, or
Yeah.
we only got this street for the filming. Uh, all right, let's move on down. Actually, there's one more little funny joke in the pictures. Uh, the patriotic underwear, Anton.
America's ass. America.
All right, let's get into Chris Evans, or actually Steve Rogers, is character development here.
Hmm.
There's a lot of theories going around that he was not going to come out of Endgame,
Hmm.
both because it was established in the comic book that Steve Rogers dies and is later replaced by the Winter Soldier. And we also knew that Chris Evans is done.
Yeah.
This was his last movie. Uh,
According to contract, it was his last movie.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And I love the way they handled this one.
Yeah.
Um,
I'll tell you
there,
what. I thought he was gonna die in that
yes,
scene.
there was a point where he gets thrown. I mean, before the support troops came in,
Yeah, the
before the
cavalry.
cavalry,
Yeah.
yeah, before the cavalry came in. No, even during the big battle, there was a point where he gets flung off Thanos, and Thanos just straight up punches him into the ground, like he's already down, and he doesn't move. I was like, "Don't tell
Yeah.
me that was it."
Yeah. I thought that was the end of
Of
Captain
Captain.
America. Yeah.
I thought that was the punch, and then they're gonna finish the battle,
Hmm.
and then they're gonna turn around and see that Captain hasn't moved or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, but no, dude, yeah, seeing his shield breaking and falling apart, um, I thought that was it,
Hmm.
and I
Yeah.
think the Russo brothers knew that was gonna be the fan theory, and they played us on that one. They
Yeah.
played us hard up until the moment.
Hmm. And I think it's a good thing too because it kind of catches everybody off guard
Yeah,
to have that type of storyline. Um, okay, so I thought that Captain's character in this one, he really moved on. Like he understood already how to move on at the very
mm-hmm.
beginning of the movie because
Yeah,
it already happened to him before, and he had to accept it. I mean, it took him a
that's
long
true.
time to figure it out because I mean, if you've seen some of the sequels to Captain America, you can see that he is still thinking about
Peggy Carter.
Peggy Carter. He's still going through that past time, and he's running all the time. He's always keeping his mind busy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He was one of the first Avengers to deal with a loss that big and that a change that massive. Because you're right, he
yeah,
is in a different world. Much
yeah,
like the people after Infinity War, that world that they lived in is not the same anymore.
yeah. And I like that support group scene where he's actually telling people how to move on, and it's kind of cool that he kind of mentions it too. He's like, oh, I got out of the ice,
Mm-hmm.
for like 70 years. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, yeah, you kind of see the humanity there too,
yeah.
where um, not everybody is alone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one thing I noticed about I think Anthony Russo, um, his character is gay. He was talking about
Oh
dating a
no,
guy.
no, no! It wasn't Anthony Russo. It was the other one.
Joe.
What was that?
Joe Russo.
Joe Russo. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, he mentioned that the his, but see, I wonder if that's kind of a reference to his brother.
Yeah.
Because the way he described um his mate,
Hmm.
I'm like that's also kind of like a brothers joking around with each other kind of thing too.
Hmm.
Um, so I think that's maybe a callback to that. But yeah,
Hmm.
no, that's yeah that what he was talking about his uh male date or something.
Yeah. Okay, so before we move on to more of Captain's character development, I kind of want to go over something that happened at the very beginning of the movie,
Shoot.
first scene of the movie. We get to see Hawkeye, which he was kind of hiatus in the previous Infinity War movie. We didn't see him anywhere.
Yeah, which we never really got a full answer why he wasn't involved, other
Uh,
than assuming he's with his family.
yeah, he's with his family because he was under house arrest because he was
Oh,
on Captain America's side when they're trying to get the Winter Soldier
got it.
in
Okay.
Civil War. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, he was happily with his family, and it's kind of like him retiring. And I
Mm-hmm.
think that was the end of it. He doesn't want to do anything anymore. He wants to spend more time with his family. But dude, that first scene was so emotional. I mean, you get to
It sucks, dude.
yeah, it really sucks. Like there's not there's no music.
No. And yeah, that's just how the movie starts. It's him with his daughter and him joking around with the kids. And it wasn't until seconds before it happened that I turned to my girlfriend and go, oh, crap.
Yeah,
This is before Infinity War.
yeah,
And she goes, you think so? And then that's when like he turns around, his daughter's not there.
yeah,
And then he turns around again, his wife and kids aren't there anymore. And like, oh crap.
yeah.
Like it's
I like how they have more of like a scene where they're trying to show how their family is. They're very happy. They're just living their life, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's just gone.
yeah,
Hmm.
which
I love the kid that goes, "Oh, what? Oh, well, the mom goes, what do you want in your hot dog? Do you want mustard
mustard and
or
mayo.
mayo?" He's like, "Ketchup."
Yeah, there you go. That's
Yeah.
that's the kid I want. That's my kid right there. Ketchup. Team
Yeah.
ketchup all the way.
Yeah.
Um yeah, but no, that shows you like even though Thanos snapped half of the world's population into ash,
Hmm.
doesn't mean it's half down the middle. Some families got lucky.
Yeah.
His family didn't.
Yeah. And you kind of see it take a toll on him too, because he
Oh, he
started.
gets dark.
Yeah, he gets so dark. He becomes Ronin, which they didn't really say his name in this movie. So,
No.
um, oh yeah, that's something very interesting because I think for Disney Plus, they already announced it that he's getting his own spin-off too. So I have
Hmm.
a feeling that they're gonna explain a lot more of that, because I
Got
mean
time.
they kind of foreshadowed it in the movie when they were talking about him in Mexico, getting rid of the cartel, and then he
Yeah.
goes to Tokyo to get rid of the yakuza,
It's it's pretty much his way of making
the world
making
a better place.
yeah, like, we'll make it making the situation better. Let's simply saying like
Because a lot of people were
the good
taking advantage of what was left.
yeah, saying like you know what like a lot of good people got taken from this world.
Hmm.
Why the hell do you deserve to stay here when you're
Hmm.
just causing trouble and hurting people?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
So.
mean I get it.
Hmm.
I support it.
Yeah. All right.
Um, so while we're on Hawkeye,
Hmm.
do you want to tie in Black Widow? One of the first tragic scenes there.
We can if you want to. I was thinking of finishing up Cap, but I think Cap's going to be a lot more. So yeah, let's go
Yeah.
ahead get into
All right.
Black
S-
Widows.
So as we explained, Hawkeye is suffering with his family. Black Widow same thing. Even though she was a lone assassin, her family was the Avengers.
Yeah.
More importantly, Hawkeye was her best friend.
Her
Um,
brother.
her brother, yeah, pretty much. If you watch the Avengers, or any of the movies building up to the Avengers, you can tell they were really close. They were
Yeah.
partners. They were close hand in hand.
Because they were the
And
only ones that understood each other.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And for her to lose half of her family, and on top of that, lose Hawkeye to pretty much, seeing her friend go that dark and hurting that much, and she can't do anything about it.
Hmm.
She felt she owed him something.
Yeah. So then now they're going after the Soul Stone. And we know
Yes.
that the Soul Stone is on Miramar? Or I can't remember that exact.
Miramar, San Diego.
No. uh,
I forgot what the planet was,
yeah.
but the rule is
Mormir? Mormir? Yeah.
a soul for a soul stone for
Yeah.
the soul.
Mm-hmm.
And that is one thing that I did know once they were planning to go for the stones. I said, shoot, whoever goes for that soul stone, one of them isn't coming back. And my
Yeah.
assumption was it was going to be Iron Man and Captain.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting that we knew that because of watching Infinity War, but the
They didn't.
characters in here didn't know that that was something that they
Also,
had to do.
also I kind of wanted uh, Captain and Iron Man to go get the soul stone just so I can get that pleasure of Captain seeing Red Skull again.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
knows who he
Okay.
is.
That's something I want to talk about later.
Okay.
When we get back into Cap. Uh,
All
yeah.
right.
So yeah, it's so emotional to see that scene where they know that both of them individually want to sacrifice
Sacrifice.
themselves.
Yeah.
And I was so close to thinking that it was Hawkeye. I mean, they played it so well, that
Dude,
scene.
they jerked you around so much.
Yeah, it's like,
Even up to like the last moments
yeah,
where like, no, yes, no, yeah. And then the last part, he did it.
yeah.
That bitch, he didn't. like like it was a lot of jerking you around.
Hmm.
But it makes sense though.
Yeah. And it
Uh,
kind of plays with a lot of people's emotions too, because you know that there's going to be a Black Widow movie coming out, and you
yeah,
also know that there's a Hawkeye show coming out. So it's
yeah.
like, okay, so if they die, there's no way that they're going to come back in any of those. So they're probably going to cancel it,
Well,
right? You know?
I thought we knew that the Black Widow movie was a prequel. Her coming into her becoming an assassin.
Yeah.
I'm assuming similar to that Jennifer Lawrence movie.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, no, I think the choice made sense,
Hmm.
not just because of Hawkeye's family, but also because this is a callback to one of the early Avengers movies where she says, "There's red in my ledger, and I want to wipe it out."
Hmm.
She doesn't like owing somebody anything, owing anybody anything.
Hmm.
So if Hawkeye sacrificed himself, I don't think she feels she would ever be able to make it up to his family for his sacrifice.
Yeah, that's true.
So
It's a lot to take, dude. It's a
it's a
lot to
lot to
take.
it's a lot to take, and I think she was already in like a really dark place throughout the whole movie to begin with.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean it makes sense. It sucks,
Yeah, it
and
really sucks.
it sucks reliving that scene because it kind of hit close to home to those that love Gamora too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really tough scene to watch because you already know what's going to happen. But I mean,
Yeah,
the second time around, it just hits you as hard because you care about this character so much too.
yeah,
Um, yeah, but other than that, I mean, hopefully we're gonna see more of Black Widow, and hopefully something great is gonna come out of it in the end somewhere. At some point, we don't know,
yeah, yeah,
but I mean, it does kind of give closure to her character. I mean, she did a lot. Without her, none of this stuff would happen.
yeah. No, I
Yeah.
agree.
Hmm.
She was part of the support group. That part of the reason that the Avengers stayed together.
Hmm.
She was kind of acting like the Nick Fury during the beginning part of this movie.
Yeah, because nobody else would do it.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
running the show with her
Hmm.
peanut butter sandwiches.
Yeah. Okay, so Cap. Uh, that battle scene. We have to talk about that battle scene.
Okay,
Oh,
go for it.
first, before the battle scene, the elevator scene.
Oh God,
That is
yes.
such a cool callback, dude, to Civil War
I
when he
mean,
was in that elevator with
that
those guys.
that is the geek version of going back in time, knowing who wins the Super Bowls and who wins the lottery,
Yeah,
or what the lottery numbers are.
yeah, and you still kind of remember that line he says too. He's like, "Whoever needs to get out of the elevator, get out now," and then he
Yeah,
starts beating all of them. But this time around, it's different. Kind of it catches you off guard.
yeah, because Crossbones, he's kind of like letting on to like this something's not right.
Hmm.
The senator knows something's not right
Hmm.
because he just got off the phone with, is it the chairman?
No, no, Senator. He's
Oh, he's an agent. He's an
yeah,
agent.
he's an agent. Yeah,
Yeah, he just got off the phone with the senator, and he's like, "The senator told you you're in charge of it. Are you sure?" Kind of like they're all
yeah. I gotta
suspicious.
call it in.
And you're right. My first thought was that scene from Winter Soldier
Uh huh.
where Cap just kind of a small elevator and kicks some ass. That was so well handled, dude.
Yeah. Hail
He's like,
Hydra.
"Are you sure?" Yeah, yeah, trust me. I'm like, dude, it's not gonna work. You can't just say trust me. And
Yeah.
he goes, "Hell, Hydra."
That was
Next
so
scene,
cool.
walking out without an issue with the scepter in hand.
Yeah. How did your crowd take it? Because my crowd went crazy.
Everybody busted out laughing and clapping, dude. It was so great. That's probably one of the benefits of seeing these movies opening weekend, because especially if it's a in-demand movie,
Hmm.
you get the hardcore fans involved.
Yeah.
And if you're fighting to get these tickets early on, you're gonna invest time into catching up with the movies if you haven't seen them already.
Hmm. So I had this guy that was sitting next to my wife on the right hand side, and he was doing everything on his chair, anything that he can hit, he was hitting, and he kept moving forward and backwards every single scene, even in the freaking trailers before the movie even started. He was fanboying over the Star Wars trailer. And right there and then I knew. I looked at my wife, I was like, do you want to? There's an empty seat over here. Surprisingly, thank God there was a freaking seat next to me that's empty.
How?
I don't know what happened. I guess they never made it. But anyways, I was like, whenever you want to move over here, you should move over here. And I don't know if she understood what I was trying to tell her because I kind of saw it coming. But then as soon as the movie started, probably like the first 5 minutes, because you could see that Hawkeye scene where he lost his family, and the guy's like, "Oh no, 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 no," and he's like hitting everything, and then my wife is like, she moves right over,
Yeah.
and I don't think the guy got the clue because throughout the whole entire
No,
movie,
he's in his own world.
yeah, and then at the end of the movie, he's like, "I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm very emotional, but I'm sorry." After the
Oh,
freaking movie's
dude.
over.
How about you control yourself?
Yeah. All right.
All right.
So, Cap.
Cat battle.
Yeah, Cap battle. Let's talk about that. How did you feel about it, and what
I go.
what was the
What? Finish your
surprise?
question. I did not realize how big this battle was going to be.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be the epic battle we
Hmm.
were supposed to get at the end of Infinity War
I
with all
thought
the
that was it, dude. I thought it was just Thanos versus these three guys.
because I knew
I did.
because
I thought they could handle it too, which is kind of crazy.
yeah, yeah, I mean the three, freaking Iron Man boosting Thor's thunder.
Yeah, that was
See,
kind of crazy.
Thor boosting Iron Man's arc reactor. Anyways,
Yeah,
um, it was no, but I'm saying like when the cavalry.
cavalry.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go. Let's see it. I couldn't put the L in the right place.
Mhm.
When they showed up, I thought it was gonna be the Avengers. You know, all of them finally together. how it should have been for Infinity War because they kept saying we would have won if we all fought together instead of being scattered. Tony pointed that out.
Hmm.
Um, and then they zoom out and you see dozens of portals opening up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do they need so many portals? Like they probably just need a couple. And then they show the Avengers coming in. They
Yeah.
show the people that were on
They
what
show
was that?
Wakanda coming
They
in.
show they show Wakanda Titan, the Titan coming in. They show the Asgardians coming through.
Hmm.
The what are they called? The wizards.
Hmm. The Wizards, yeah.
Yeah, they show like everybody
Hmm.
in the MCU coming through.
Yeah. So before that scene, it was just the three of them fighting against Thanos. What
Yep.
was the biggest surprise to you? Was
Oh, I
it
know what you're saying.
Mjolnir?
Yes. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yes. When Cap finally lifts Mjolnir,
Yeah. And
something
it
they
was such
hinted
a
at
crazy surprise
during
too, because
Ultron.
I think they were trying to focus on Thor getting beat up, and it looks like Thor was gonna get killed right there and then too. And I was a little worried too because I mean we knew that someone was gonna die, and knowing the Russo brothers, they would probably throw some curveballs in there.
Yeah.
So right there and then you would see Mjolnir flying straight at Thanos, and it hits Thanos, but then it flies somewhere else.
Yeah, you think that it's Thor that called the hammer because he was reaching his hand.
No, he wasn't. He was
reaching.
he was holding. I saw this the second time, so I noticed the detail.
Oh,
He
okay,
was
okay, okay.
he was holding on to Thanos because Thanos was pushing Stormbreaker into him on his chest. So he was holding his hand there the whole time.
I thought that was later on in the battle. Anyways, but yeah, so you think he's done because yeah, you're right. The Stormbreaker was breaking through his chest plate.
Yeah, and then Mjolnir had to come by and just break it apart, but then it wasn't Thor that did it, and that was the big surprise because I was like, where's it going?
But do you get what changed between Ultron and now? Because in Ultron, he tried to lift the hammer and it budged, and it kind of weirded Thor out.
I think he did know that he was able to do it. I think he just didn't want to do it because he didn't want to look like an ass, and he didn't want to kind of show off that he was able to do it.
Well, okay, so the detail that I think they're throwing in there is you got to remember what happened between Ultron and now. Civil War.
Well, his intentions are always worthy, and he always goes with his guts and doing what's right.
But the thing with Mjolnir is, if you are worthy, and you're a pure heart, Cap wasn't pure heart during Ultron, because he knew a secret.
Okay.
That he knew that Bucky killed Tony's parents.
But he didn't tell Tony, yeah.
He didn't tell Tony, yeah. So that was always kind of holding over him. But once he confessed in Civil War, now all the cards on the table. He's pure of heart. Now he's able to wield that thing like nobody's business.
Yeah, dude, that was so freaking awesome.
He's not struggling to lift that hammer anymore. He's flinging it left and right.
Yeah,
and doing some kick-ass tricks with his shield.
Yeah, that shield and Mjolnir combo was freaking insane.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, dude, he was kicking. Thanos. Yeah, he was kicking his butt so hard. Yeah, and everybody was screaming. Everybody was clapping for joy. It's such a awesome scene to watch, and so satisfying.
So that was one of the things I was getting nervous because I was thinking, what a dark moment it would be if this awesome scene is the moment where Cap slips up and Thanos
kills him,
chops his head off. Yeah,
and it came pretty close because I mean, he loses Mjolnir for a little bit, and then his shield starts getting crunched up chipped away into little pieces, and it's kind of crazy to see all that happen. But dude, okay, so let's talk about that scene before the cavalry comes in. You see Cap standing there, and then Thanos' cavalry comes in from his
Oh
ships.
yeah, his drop ships. Yeah, we've seen him before.
That scene is so beautiful. It is so freaking epic looking because you just see Cap by himself, and there's a whole entire army on Thanos' side.
Yes, and again, you have to watch Civil War or not Civil War, Infinity War, because all of Wakanda couldn't hold back that army, and now you have Cap by himself. Iron Man is out of commission. You got Thor injured.
Yeah, and okay, so I think this was the really emotional thing that they added into the movie for the details to really capture what you were thinking at that moment. Is Cap sees this whole entire army. He knows that there's no way that he can do it, but then he does it anyway. So they close up on his shield, and he tightens it.
Yep.
And that's when you know
it's about to go down.
It's about to go down. It's just him. It's going to be a really tough battle. And you know it's going to be a battle to his death.
Well, and that's kind of a callback to him getting back up.
Mm-hmm.
He keeps getting back up. He keeps getting knocked down and getting back up and not backing down. But it's the thing, he can do this all day.
Yeah.
Even to the point where he annoyed himself.
Yeah. I could do this all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that Cap. That Cap has matured so much that even he's too cheesy for himself.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, that was like a epic one. Like, holy crap! Like this is him. It's gonna die.
Yeah, and then you hear Sam's voice, and then you're like, "Where's that coming from?" And then he starts, putting his hand to the ear. And you're like, "Oh, thank God, they're coming."
Oh,
yeah.
That throwback to Winter Soldier on your left.
Yeah, on your left. Yeah, that's so cool, dude. Yeah. Yeah. So then we finally see some sparkly things.
Yeah.
Open. Yeah.
Spinny thingies.
Yeah.
Yeah, we see the cavalry come in. I'm going down the list right now.
Did everybody clap for each character that showed up from that scene?
It was just endless clapping. Yeah. Occasionally you get a little bit of more uproar for like the bigger characters, like Spider-Man showing up.
I think Spider-Man was probably the biggest one.
Yeah, but it was continuous clapping.
Mm-hmm. So for my first viewing, Pepper Potts, when she came out with her rescue armor, is freaking like everybody in there who first showing are probably super nerdy, super geeks, so they kind of like went all out, going like clapping and everything. Yeah. Second showing, not so much.
Really?
Yeah. Second showing, they're like, oh, okay, cool.
Well, I do like that throwback there to Spider-Man's what's it called? Instant kill mode.
Oh yeah. He finally
Homecoming.
activated it. Yeah.
Well, no, he activated a Homecoming back set, and he's like, "What? No instant kill."
Yeah.
He's like when he was fighting on those guys in the van.
Yeah.
But no instant kill, no. And dude, that is deadly.
It's so crazy, dude.
That suit was just stabbing left and right, like just instant kill. It lived up to his name.
Yeah, you see his eyes turn red, and then just boom.
But it's funny because like it's working, but there's just so many of them. But he's like on a pile of dead aliens, and he's still like, it's not working.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do like that. Spider-Man, he got his moment to shine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to go down the list. I think we're running late here, dude. I just want to point out, I thought Scarlet Witch was going to destroy Thanos single-handedly.
Dude, that was so close, man. Dude,
she could have done it.
Yeah, she could have done it. He gave up. He called mercy. Yeah.
He called mercy, and then when it didn't work, he just unloaded.
Mm-hmm. Rain fire.
Oh yeah, on everything. He just said screw. That was the equivalent of flipping the game board on the table when playing a board game.
Yeah.
Also want to call out the female Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
The
was that too much? A lot of people thought it was too much.
I think they're foreshadowing because there has been rumors that they want to do a females only Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
So I think either A, that was them saying here's your moment, or B saying this is coming in the future once they establish more
Wait,
characters.
what happens? Thanos comes back, snap his fingers, and all the men are gone.
Why the last man?
Yeah.
But I mean, it was cool seeing how many strong female characters Marvel has.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
okay, and speaking of females, I'm tired of these headlines trying to be clickbaity by saying, "Did you know there was a gay Avenger in Marvel in a civil or how was it called an Endgame?" I'm
Hmm.
like, they did this in Ragnarok. They did this later on. Like they keep trying. Yes, Valkyrie is gay. That scene in Ragnarok was edited out, but she is gay.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why they're trying to be so clickbait. Like we get it. Like there's not really. I don't know.
Okay, so let's speed this up and talk about some of the last stuff in the movie. So at the end of the movie, we get we get
Well, we got to
Cap.
wrap up Captain. Yeah.
Yeah, we get Cap going back in time to return the stones.
hmm I I don't get how that works.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that in a second because I think we might probably take like a couple minutes on that one.
Yeah.
Um, dude, everybody was crying, emotional
Yeah.
when Tony
Yep.
did the snap. I mean, he did whatever he could, and
Well, and you know what's gonna happen because you saw how much damage the Hulk took
yeah,
using it.
and Doctor Strange, how he can see everything. He only saw one last. Yeah, that finger up was pretty much the only thing that kind of got people to understand that this is it.
Yep. This is the moment.
Yeah, this is the moment.
Yeah. That's the difference between the other versions he saw, and it's because the reason he couldn't tell Tony is I don't think that it's not that Tony wouldn't want to make the sacrifice.
He would have thought about it the whole time, and it would,
He would have thought about it the whole time. He would have hesitated,
mhm.
or he would have tried to come up with an alternative plan, which probably
Yeah,
wouldn't have worked.
yeah. He would try to come up with an alternative plan to save
Make it a
himself and save everybody else.
he would make a droid that not droid an AI suit that would take the stones and do the snap itself.
Yeah.
He would have done something, but yeah, no, that it had to be him. And to be honest, it's not as sad as it is. It's not too surprising. You saw him make that sacrifice in Avengers,
Hmm.
but this time they're not getting shawarma afterwards. Although that would have been awesome if they
They
served
did talk
shawarma.
about it. They did talk about it. Vaguely. I watching it the second time, I was watching for it. Because Robert Redford's character, which is that senator or something, he
Yeah,
was
yeah,
walking
yeah.
in.
The
Yeah,
bad guy from Winter Soldier.
yeah. So he comes out and he's like, "Oh, where are you guys thinking you're going?" He's like, "Oh, we're thinking about getting some lunch and then we're
Oh,
gonna bring this to
yeah,
Asgard." Yeah. So
yeah.
I caught that the second time. I'm like, "Oh, okay, they did say it." So it's kind of cool that they had that. Um, but yeah, what were we talking about?
Tony's sacrifice.
Oh yeah, so
That he did do the sacrifice then, but he managed to make it back through the portal and land on Earth.
hmm
And then they got shawarma afterwards.
yeah,
This time he made the sacrifice. Didn't turn out that well.
no,
And I mean, he made his miracle, and they foreshadowed it in that first scene,
hmm
where everybody thought Tony died. I thought Tony died,
hmm
on the ship.
hmm
Um, but he said, I want to pull just one more miracle, one last time, and
hmm
make it home to you. He did it.
hmm
That was it. That was the last miracle.
yeah. And dude, his daughter in this movie steals every scene that she's in. She's
Yes, with that scene with
yeah,
Happy.
yeah, happy. Okay,
Uh,
so yeah, that scene with Happy, and especially that scene where he said shit.
Okay.
Well, she says shit too, so.
That would be me as a parent. I'm like, oh, damn it! Like, no, don't say damn it. No.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
no, yeah, that was adorable. No, but I like that scene with Happy because that was a throwback to the first Iron Man.
Cheeseburgers.
Yeah, when he came back
Mm.
out of the cave, he said, "Well, what do you want to do? I want a cheeseburger."
Yeah.
Oh, and I was seeing on Marvelous Facts on Instagram. Well, actually, was it that one or was it Uber Facts? One of the two. They, it turns out that Robert Downey, the reason he cleaned up his life was when he was eating a shitty cheeseburger in his car with drugs, and he realized how shit his life was. And that's what kind of motivated him to alleged that's what motivated him to clean up his life.
And that's why he likes
And
cheeseburgers.
well, no, that scene in Iron Man was a reference to Burger King.
Oh, oh yeah, I remember. He's like, I want a Whopper right now.
Yeah,
He's on stage, sitting down, eating a Whopper while he's doing a press conference.
yeah, which symbolically, that cave where he was being tortured and it was about to die,
Hmm.
that was Robert Downey on drugs. Him coming out of the
Mm,
cave
mhm.
was him, going back into the movie life and cleaning his
Redemption.
life up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that cheeseburger is what brought him back to reality.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, as sad as it is to see Iron Man go, he is Iron Man.
Hmm.
He did
Yep.
it.
That
He saved
last
the life.
line. Yeah, that's good. Um, okay, so his funeral scene. We get to see a lot of people who were close to him that knew him. The
Hmm.
Avengers were there, and person that didn't show up would be Natasha, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, they kind of talked about her, which is kind of good. Kind of included her in the scene there, and
Hmm.
I like that they did that because she's important and she shouldn't be left out. So I'm
Right.
glad that Hawkeye and Wanda was able to talk about her
They're lost.
and yeah,
Yeah.
their loss, Vision too. Um, and as they were panning the camera through the people that were attending the funeral, there was only one thing that kind of caught my eye. That as soon as I got out of the movie theater, I started talking to my wife about it, and I was right too. I'm glad that I got it right before I got home to look it up.
Harley Keener.
Yeah. So we saw a kid that we weren't familiar faced with because I mean he kind of grew up. He
Yeah.
was from the third Iron Man movie when
He looks kind of douchey now.
yeah. So it was the kid that kind of brought Iron Man back.
Yeah.
Because he lost everything to the Mandarin.
Mandalorian.
Mandarin. And then, yeah, he's getting anxiety. And then this kid was the only one that could save him. So I think that was the only reason why he was such importance to Tony's life. And I guess that's why he's there.
Yeah. Also, that is kind of tying in all the kids in the show. We mentioned that they're thinking of doing a Young Avengers a couple episodes ago,
Hmm.
and all the kids are set up for it now.
Yeah, so that's the one thing about this movie is it's setting up so much.
For the next
Yeah,
phase.
for the next phase. And dude, it's so bright right now. There's so many things that they can do at this point because it's so open to many different stories.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we have, and I mean they have the right amount of cast. I mean we
Hmm.
have the Harley Keener, who
Hmm.
can be Iron Lad,
Hmm.
because he did get Tony's equipment. For all we know, he's able to
Yeah, the kid
understand.
builds stuff in his
Yeah,
garage. So,
yeah. And then you also have Hawkeye's daughter,
hmm.
who is now a teenager, so a good age for her to start fighting.
Hmm.
You have Casey Lang, who is Ant-Man's daughter, who's
Hmm.
ready like a teenager.
Hmm.
You have Shuri from Wakanda, ready to join the fight. So we have, I mean, a good amount of characters here to start building. Um, and I'm sure once we get more and more movies coming out, we'll start to see it build. But So far, four solid characters that could develop into the Young Avengers.
Yeah, that's something really early, but I mean, you could totally see it happen because of these characters that are currently casted. So, couple predictions right now. Let's get into that. But before that, what do you think about Valkyrie being the king of New Asgard?
I think she's fit for it, dude. She's led the group while Thor was in his little dark cave, and I mean, yeah, we're playing Fortnite.
Yeah,
Again, Fortnite's a time killer, so.
yeah, yeah.
But no, Valkyrie fits.
Hmm.
I like her, both the character and Tessa Thompson.
Yeah, and you don't see her drunk like in Ragnarok. So
No, they kind
yeah,
of switched places with that.
yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Very cool. Yeah, so we get to see Thor join the Guardians of the Galaxy,
the
which,
Asgardians of the galaxy.
yeah, the Asgardians of the Galaxy, which is really fun to watch. I think this is something that we're going to really enjoy because the chemistry between Star-Lord and Thor is so fun to watch.
Well, the reason I got excited too is now they have the fighting power to fight Adam.
Adam Warlock. Yeah.
Yeah, from
Hmm.
they hinted at in volume 2.
Yeah. So that's something that I'm really excited to see too, because that totally brings a totally different definition to this series because they don't have anyone with like crazy superpowers.
Yeah.
Everyone's always like a warrior or someone who can gun a gunner.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of cool to see.
Yeah. And also, I mean, as much we got Gamora back, kind of.
Kind of. I think she got snapped, but I don't know.
Oh, no, no. So Gamora, remember, she died getting the Soul Stone.
Uh huh.
And she didn't really come back to life. The Gamora we have now is the Gamora, is it
From the
5 years
past.
from the past?
Hmm.
5 years from the past. Actually more than 5 years. Was it 7 years? 9 years.
9 years. Yeah.
9 years in the past. So before she joined the Guardians.
Hmm.
So this is before she met uh uh Chris Pratt's character, Star
Star
Lord.
Lord. Yeah.
So then there's no chemistry now. There's no it's a new
Yeah, but
character.
where did she go?
She disappeared, and I think that's one of the things they're going to come out with in volume 3 is the coming across Gamora, who is probably teaming up with Nebula.
But Nebula is there. She's in the ship.
She's on the ship. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, never
she's on
mind.
the ship with them to go on adventures.
But either way, though,
Hmm.
Gamora's gone, so they
Hmm.
got to find her. So
Yeah,
either A, they don't know if she survived, or B, they know she's out there and they're trying to look for her.
yeah. So, anyways, we're happy that Thor is joining that lineup. Very interesting to see.
I love the preview we got of because okay, we love the scene in Infinity War
Yeah,
where Chris Pratt, where Star Lord and Thor meet for the first time.
yeah. They're like,
I always talk like this. You're copying me.
yeah,
Uh, and then we get a little taste of it again at the end of this one.
yeah.
I'm
Captain
more
of the ship.
excited. Yeah, I'm more excited for Volume 3 than ever right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Just to see their back and forth again.
Mm. Okay, so these are the things that are already confirmed. So we can talk about this. Disney Plus is having a couple of TV shows, and we
Yes.
sort of talked about it. We're gonna have Winter Soldier and Falcon.
Yes. Which is
So
probably going to be them trying to develop or trying to fill the Captain America's role.
yeah, so Captain Falcon, America, and then we're also getting WandaVision. So,
Which we didn't really understand what happened to Vision in this one.
mhm.
Um,
Well, I guess this is more of like a sequel. I mean, a prequel because it's gonna be talking about during the time when
when
they,
they separated from the group.
yeah, and then Loki, because you sort of see him float off to
Disappear.
a yeah, you kind of see him float off to a separate timeline. So
Yeah.
I think
So
that's what it's gonna be about.
yeah, because it's the Tesseract. The Tesseract was the time stone, right?
Space.
Space stone. Okay, so he just
Yeah.
teleported.
Yeah.
But okay, so that's one thing that that bothers me is Captain went back in time to put the stones back to where they got them. But some of them you can't put back.
Yeah, that was my biggest concern is how the hell do you put back a soul stone?
Put back the soul stone.
How do you put it
Uh,
back?
Put back the ether. Was it ether? Yeah, the ether
Uh-huh.
one, the red one that was inside Jane. Sounds dirty. The one
Uh,
where Rocket had to stab her.
yeah. Well, that stone, yeah, you probably could just plant it
Stab
back
her.
in. Uh,
It took me a couple days to realize why he took the hammer.
oh, and then he brought it back too to
Yeah,
return it.
he brought that back too. Yeah, I was
Hmm.
like, oh, because when they showed him at the end, I'm like, wait, where'd the hammer go? I'm like, oh wait, and he put it back.
Yeah, you have to put it back.
Yeah,
Yeah, so yeah, how the hell do you put back the soul stone? And even if he goes there, how
he's
the
gonna see Red
hell?
Skull.
Yeah, he's gonna see Red Skull. What is he gonna do? How's he gonna encounter him with
Yeah,
what happened? You know?
yeah, and I think it's like I think it's that, and I want to think that maybe that's part of the reason why the movie was gonna be longer,
Hmm. Yeah.
but they had to chop that out. Yeah, there's a lot of
Can
scenarios
you
where,
return a soul stone to give back somebody? I think that's the
ooh,
one thing that they didn't mention. I mean, Red Skull did say that there's no way to
bring them back,
bring them back, but what happens if you trade
the
this?
stone back.
Oh, this is something I saw online that's very interesting. What happened if they pushed Red Skull down
He
instead
would
of
just
them?
die.
Yeah, instead of them killing themselves, just push them down and get the soul stone.
It wouldn't work because
Yeah, it has to be someone that you love.
yeah, allegedly it has to be someone you love.
Yeah.
But I wonder if he says that just for his own protection, so they don't sacrifice him. Because all it
Yeah.
says a soul for a soul stone.
Yeah.
They don't say a loved soul for the soul stone.
Yeah. Yeah. So that'd be really okay. So I think there will be more Captain movies. I think it's going to be taking place during the time after the World War II, and I think he's going to go on adventures with Peggy. What do you think?
No, I think it's over. Because we and the reason I think that that's over is because uh, Agent Carter,
Mm-hmm.
they can't undo that, or they don't want to visit that. Um, and we really don't have any history, like because Captain wants to
There's okay.
retire.
See, the reason why I say this is because there's still a lot of Hydra stories that has been,
I think it's done. I think they're gonna move
do
on
you think
to new characters.
the Hydra stuff is going to be in the Winter Soldier and Falcon series?
Yes, because that's gonna be more grounded.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna do the superpowered heroes are gonna deal more with the space, the galactic part of Marvel,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the non superpowered heroes, Winter Soldier and Hawk or Falcon, are gonna be dealing with the more grounded espionage stuff, the stuff
Mm-hmm.
that they're used to.
Yeah. All right. So, and then one last one that they're going to have for Disney Plus that they announced is Hawkeye series. So
Yeah,
I think that's going to be covering the Ronin story.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I would think it shouldn't go more than 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Because it's well, actually 5 years, so maybe five seasons.
Yeah. And most of these episodes are going to be around 6 to 8 episodes each. So it's kind
Okay,
of
so short.
exciting to see. Hmm.
So it's gonna be like Breaking Bad, but Hawkeye.
Yeah. Okay. One question I had is what happened to Sharon Carter? That's so awkward,
Oh yeah.
right? How does that work? I mean, he just
By the
left
way,
her.
I nailed your granddaughter,
Yeah.
but I'm back.
Not granddaughter. She's a niece.
Oh, the niece.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. How awkward is that?
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. Maybe the reason they said niece is so that people wouldn't assume that he just nailed his future daughter.
No, it's not his future daughter. Yeah,
Um,
her Peggy's brother's daughter.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I do like the way it wrapped up though.
Hmm.
He finally got that dance he promised her at the end of Captain America: The First Avenger
Hmm.
when he was
Finally got that
crashing the plane.
dance.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to I'll take a rain check on that last dance.
Yeah. Okay, so one more interesting thing before we wrap this up. Um, this movie does not end Phase 3. Spider-Man,
Homecoming. Oh
uh,
no, you're not Far From Home.
Far From Home is the one that's going to end Phase 3. And I have a feeling they're going to throw something in there that ties into this movie that kind of opens up more of
Oh,
what's going to
oh,
happen next.
it's definitely gonna set up Phase 4
Mm-hmm.
because this is gonna be the transition movie to Phase 4.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the tie-in is gonna be uh, Peter dealing with Iron Man's death.
Yeah.
And that was some of the theories that were coming out for after the trailer came out was the way that Peter seems to be reluctant to put on the Spider-Man costume.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where he looks at the costume kind of like he's scared of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden Nick Fury and not Tony pops up and tries to twist his arm into saying like, no, you need to put that suit back on. We need you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's kind of hard to see the world without Tony Stark. But I mean, it's a start.
Okay. Another feels moment is when Peter comes back and Tony doesn't say a word, he just hugs him. That was a callback to Homecoming, where Peter thinks that Tony's going in for a hug, but he's really opening the door.
Yeah, that was really funny.
I was just telling my girlfriend, like, he finally got his hug. His father figure finally hugged him.
Yeah.
All right, Anton. I'm out of. Actually, I can go on, but I think 2 hours is
Yeah,
enough.
we can go on forever about this. I mean, there's so many things to cover, and especially, this is such a big scaled movie to talk
Yeah.
about. Um, the future is very interesting from here. I think we're after the Spider-Man movie coming out this July, we're gonna get a full lineup at D23 of what's gonna be on Phase 4.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's going to be something that we should look forward to.
Oh, it's gonna be a long year, dude.
Hmm.
After Spider-Man's gonna be a long year.
Yeah, dude, this April, I don't know. I think we should come up with a term for it because so many things is jam packed into this damn month. We
Uh,
got Game of Thrones, we
uh,
got
mm, awesome April.
Awesome April. Okay, let's call it Awesome April.
Apex April.
Apex April. Yeah.
All right. I think that's it, Anton. We already did our spiel
Hmm.
early on. So
Yeah.
for the 2OC, I'm Al Flores.
And I'm Anton Duan. Have a good
This
night.
is the one. This is the one.
Later.